Her Excellency Dr. Sherrie Walton is a United Nations Ambassador at Large, guest lecturer, keynote speaker, best-selling author, global entrepreneur, university lecturer, film producer, and publisher. She has been an entrepreneur for over 18 years and is the owner of Sherrie Walton Consulting, Walton Publishing House, and the CEO of the Daniel and Esther Global Network. In addition, Dr. Sherrie is the VP of Operations of the Wisdom International Ministerial Alliance, an association for ministry and church leaders. Sherrie has received congressional recognition for her contributions to the city of Houston. She has also received recognition from the mayor of Houston, honoring women making a difference. Houston's 40 Under 40 Next Generation of Leaders Award, and has been recognized as an emerging business for the Miami Super Bowl. Dr. Sherrie has been seen on Fox News, ABC, featured on CEO Mom, and various media outlets. Her global platform reaches clients in China, Dubai, Africa, and the United States. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Sherrie Walton.
I'm gonna go ahead and start clapping for myself. It's like we're in the studio, but we're in our individual studios, and I'm so excited to be here today. I know I opened it up with excitement. You all know I'm gonna always bring the cheerleading squad for the Daniel and Esther Network because I am excited. I'm excited what God is doing in your lives. I'm excited about the breakthrough and the manifestations that you're gonna receive. I'm excited what God is doing for his kingdom entrepreneurs, his leaders, his marketplace leaders that are ready to rise up and take a stand. So as you know, we are talking about manifestation for innovation, right? I'm actually gonna jump right in. I had a conversation with a friend of mine not too long ago, and she is a gospel recording artist. And she mentioned to me that she will be coming out with a new single. And she was so excited about the single. And honestly, it's a very good single that she allowed me to listen to, a worship song. And so when I started to ask her about the distribution of the song and how she was going to reach the massive audience that she said that she really felt that she was called to, she kind of got like deer in headlights. And so my conversation went on further and said, well, you know, you've been in the industry for a while, but you've also been out of the industry for a while, and things have changed, right? The way music is distributed has changed. The way people buy music, if people even buys music anymore, because if I don't know, like you all, I am an avid YouTuber, meaning that I listen to YouTube streaming music all the time, the Pandoras, the Spotify's. So the way that music was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, has changed the way people listen to music now. I don't even think people buy CDs anymore, right? I don't have a CD player. So I said that to say, as I was talking to her, she didn't have a plan. She just knew that she had an amazing product, but she didn't know how she was going to reach the masses with it. And that conversation made me think about this conference. There are so many people, there are so many business owners that are frustrated. They're frustrated. You're frustrated because you know that you have a plan or even an idea that God has given you, or you may have even gone to the next step and you have a vision for what God has given you. But now that you've had that vision, you've entered into the workplace, you've entered into the marketplace, and you realize things have changed. Can you just kind of say that after me? Things have changed. So I'm reminded of the scripture, and it's in Matthew 9:17, and it says, neither do people pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst. The wine will run out of the wineskins and will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved. So the conversation that I want to have with you today is, one, are you pouring new wine into new wine skins? And when you think about that, and I want you to think about that from a business perspective, because yes, we are in the world, we're not of the world, but we operate and we do business in this world system. So although we are kingdom entrepreneurs, there are still some things that apply to how we do business in this new marketplace. We've been talking a lot about how the coronavirus has shifted things. I think we're kind of shifting out of that coronavirus talk, but the reality is there is a new reality. So as a business owner, as a kingdom entrepreneur, what are you doing to shift, to pivot for the way things are right now? So there are a few different type of people listening to this conference today. There are some people that are spiritually stuck. There are some people that have been hit below the belt. The enemy has come at them. He's attacked them. He's delayed their promises. He's delayed their breakthrough, and they're frustrated. Then there's another set of people, and I'm actually going to speak to the other set of people, because I believe that Ambassador Thomas went and broke down the walls of those that have been dealing with the frustration from the attack, from the spiritual attack. So now I'm going to bring it to the other side, to those entrepreneurs that are actually self-sabotaging their manifestation. Right? And if this applies to you, you can just say, ouch. I know that we have comments on Facebook and YouTube, but there are some entrepreneurs that are stopping themselves from moving forward. Why you're stopping yourself? Well, sometimes it's lack of confidence in your product, lack of confidence in your gift. I mean, we have all been there as entrepreneurs. Sometimes you're trying to figure out, okay, I'm not what they call a techie, right? I get that a lot because I have entrepreneurs that work with me that are over 50 years old. I have a sweet spot for 50 to 65-year-olds for some reason. I think I just have a different type of patience for them. But they always say, Dr. Sherrie, I'm not tech savvy. I don't want to get on social media. I don't want to do this. And I say, well, if you don't adjust and adapt, you'll be out of business. So either you're going to make you're going to adapt, or you can hire team members that know how to carry you in the areas that you're weak. So as we are talking today, right, as we are, I'm in your living room with you, wherever you're watching this, if you're watching it at home, if you're watching it at your office, wherever you are around the world, I am sitting with you right now, and we're having a heart-to-heart conversation. Because the truth is, it's time for you to move. It's time for you to go big. It's time for you to be what God has called you to be. So I'm going to give you some tools, right, to be able to do that. I'm going to, I like when we talk about finding your first love. I'm going to let you tonight after this conference, I want you to think about your first love. Your first love in business. When you started business, you were excited about it. When you started a business, you had passion, right? You were excited to wake up and tell people about your business. And then shift happens in business. There's shifts that happen. There are things that you say, okay, wait a minute. Clients are not flowing in. What do I do? I'm not good at this marketing and sales. What do I do? We're going to talk about that tonight. So I'm going to quickly take you through some of the things that God had given me as I prepared for this conference tonight. But one of the things I want to talk about really quickly, as I talked about the new wine and the new skin, I want to talk about some of the old ways of doing business. So that way, as we talk about manifesting your breakthrough with innovation and creativity, you'll kind of reflect, am I doing business the old way, or am I ready to shift into the new way of doing things? So some of the old ways of doing things is not being efficient in what you offer, in the service, in the product. I spoke with someone today that I actually booked today. She called me yesterday. I booked her today. She paid in full. But let me tell you what she said when she called me. She said, I've already called 3 other publishers. They spoke with me. They were excited about my book. Then when it was time to put the proposal together to move forward, they dropped the ball. 3 different publishers dropped the ball. Now, when I got the call from her, I called her in less than 24 hours because that's the culture of my organization. I called her back and I booked her because they were doing business in the old system. And the old system is not efficient. The old system doesn't include you following up with customers because you somehow don't think that someone else is waiting to take that customer. Think about it. We live in a fast society. Have you ever been on the phone with a customer service rep that transferred you to another customer service rep that then transferred you to another customer service rep? How frustrated were you? But think about that same experience when a client calls you and doesn't get a call back, or they call you and then they get shifted to someone else. What type of culture are we creating? That's the old way of doing business. So not returning calls, not offering an excellent product. Kingdom entrepreneurs, just because you put a cross and a dove on your business does not guarantee that you are operating in a spirit of excellence. We need to start taking some internal checks to see, okay, what are some ways that I can improve? Because we're talking about manifestation. We're talking about innovation. Innovation is new ways of doing things. But in order to do the new, we have to get rid of the old. I mentioned already not utilizing social media because you just don't like social media. Well, your clients are on social media. Your clients are on YouTube. Your clients are looking for experts that are willing to tell them their story. Another part, and I just want to add that into it, you're doing business and you don't even want to put your face on the business. That's the old way of doing business, because the new way of doing business is people want to do business with people they like. They want to do people that they're transparent with. They want to do business with people that they feel that can relate to them. That was something else that the young lady said today when she booked me. There was just something about me that she felt that she can relate to. Now, old school business will tell you, don't get attached to the client, right? Don't tell them anything personal. These are the old ways of doing business. Well, the new way of doing business is not going all into your closet and your skeletons. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is there's something in your story that can allow someone else to relate and connect to you. Another one, old way of doing business is, I know there are a lot of people guilty of this, so that's why I paused for just a moment. Trying to do everything yourself. Let me repeat that. The old way of doing business is trying to do everything yourself. So you're the accountant, you're the customer service rep, you're the products and marketing, you are social media, you are you are the invoicing, you're every single department. There's no way that you can do everything in your business, work in your business and work for your business and build your business at the same time. It's not possible. So you say, okay, I understand that, Dr. Sherrie, and that's why I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because I know it's not possible for me to do everything. So what do? You find partners. You find other partners that are able to bring something to the table that you all can offer your services, barter your services, create alliances, so that way you're not doing everything. So let me explain what that looks like. If you're not good at accounting, find a partner that can be an accountant, and then you offer what you offer. Now, don't come to the table with nothing. Don't come to the table with your hands out like, give me. That's the old way of doing business. The new way of doing business, being innovative, manifesting the breakthroughs in your business, is showing up to the table ready to serve, rolling up your sleeves instead of thinking, how much am I going to get paid first? You're thinking, how can I serve? How can I bring my gift to the table? And then we all can eat. Because this pie, this world pie, is big enough for all of us to eat. We can actually all eat at the same pie and still eat very well. Because the old mindset, the old way of doing business is, if I bring someone else and partner with me, they're going to steal all the clients. They're going to take everything. Well, that's the old way of doing business, because the new way of doing business is understanding that there is something so unique, so different about you and your product that they can't replace you if they try to. Can I dance with that a little bit? I can work with you and not be intimidated by you, because I understand there's a lane for you and there's a lane for me. And because I understand who God created me to be, I'm not bothered if you even look like you're in the same industry as me. And that's the old versus the new. And I know I have to get going here. So before I go off, we've talked about one other thing. I want, actually a few more things, but one I want to hit about in the old way of doing things. The old way of doing business is working only in your community, your people that look like you, whatever you look like, people that make you comfortable, right? That's the old way of doing business. The new way of doing business, the new way of innovating and manifesting the promises, is not being afraid to step outside of your territory, being able to expand, because globally there are people that need what you have. And that's what I love about the Daniel and Esther Network. And yes, I am doing a plug as the CEO. This organization is in multiple countries. And if you're a part of the Daniel and Esther Network and you have not tapped into the resources of this network, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because ultimately our goal is to show you, to teach you, to even hold your hand and how to expand your brand globally. So the old way of doing business is only working in your community, only working with people that look like you, only working with people that talk like you. The new way of doing business is saying, God, enlarge my territory. I tell the story often about how I obtained my first client in China. And it happened as a prayer. I had a prayer one day while I was out doing some shopping for another client. And I said, God, I want to have a client in China. Now, I didn't know anything about China. I just heard some other people had business in China. So I was like, I want business in China. Like, okay. So I put out this silent prayer while I was shopping for another client. And lo and behold, less than a week later, actually it was just a few days later, there was an exchange on Facebook, out of all places, where someone who I had helped write their book had posted or replied to a post when someone said, hey, I'm looking for someone to help me write my book. I need a book writing coach. And she said, hey, well, I know someone. That conversation took place while I was sleeping. And when I woke up the next day, I had all of these like alerts and buzzes on my phone. And when I looked, there was a conversation about me. So I corresponded with the person that had inquired. I had no idea where she was from or what she did. But as we started to talk and connect on the phone, I asked her, where did she live? And she said, I live in Guangzhou, China. And I was like, hit the fan, because I can't believe that I literally just said this prayer about expanding my territory and that was answered. And I didn't do anything. I didn't change anything. All I did was trust and believe. So as we talk about expanding, it's about, where is your faith? Because the old way of doing things, and this is not even an old way of doing business, this is the old way of living before you start walking in the kingdom, is you try to do everything yourself. So the old Sherrie would have started calling people, looking on LinkedIn, trying to find out who knows who in China and how can I get in? And are you all having a meeting somewhere? And is there an organization I can join? Knock, 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 there's a door for me. But the new Sherrie says, I'm going to clean up my act. I'm going to offer solutions that people need. I'm going to position myself to be available. I'm going to set my prices right, which we'll talk about in another session. I'm going to make sure that there is a value that I bring to the table. And then I'm of the understanding that God wants the best for me. So if I put everything in place, he'll do the rest. That's a word of encouragement that I want to give to you today as a business owner that has been saying, okay, God, things have happened. Their money is not flowing the way that I know it's supposed to flow. There are clients that are not coming in, and I know that those clients are for me. I want to leave you with just a few things that you can apply today. I want you to go back to the vision. The Bible tells us to write the vision and make it plain. What was the vision that God gave you for your business? What was it that you set and you saw and you dreamed and you believed? And before the waves came and the billows rolled, what did you hear God say about your vision? Go back to that. Go back, like they say, to the old landmark. Go back to that and close your eyes and see it all over again. Because as we're talking about manifestation, you have to know what you're manifesting. You got to know what it is that God is bringing to you so you can recognize when it shows up. So go back and find the vision. Then I want you to start taking action. Back at that vision, going back to it again, I want you to start taking action, because there is a way that we can, do busy work and then say we're doing business. There's income producing activities, and those are self-sabotaging activities that we do that stop us from manifesting and being what God has called us to be. I want you to start putting some action in place. I want you to think about, as we spoke about enlarging your territory, what does that look like? Who do you need to work with? Where do you need to go? God, show me my next steps. God, order my steps. And he's already promised you that he would do that. Then I want you to go from planning to creating. I want you to go from action to creating. Start creating those things that God told you to create. If it's a book, go write the book. You all know how I feel about you writing your book. If there's a product that you need to sell, put it together. If there's something that God told you to do, start doing it today. There's no more excuses, because this is the thing. If you don't position yourself for the manifestation, no matter how many prayers you do, it won't come forth. So I want to help you. So tonight, I want you to receive everything. I want you to receive the word. I want you to receive the action. I want you to receive the plan. And then I want you to say, okay, after this night, it's going to be different. So we're going to go from creating to innovate, because innovate is our word. And I just got to go back to the definition of innovation. Innovation is a process by which a product or a service is renewed and brought up to date by applying new processes, including new techniques, or establishing successful ideas to create new value. Go out there and innovate. Create those things that you know that you have been called to do. You don't have to mimic anyone else. Be authentically you. There is something different about you that God made that way for a reason. Innovate it into your business and then expand. I mentioned to you earlier about a few times expanding your territory. Expand. Don't be afraid to step out of your box. Don't be afraid to try something new. I am actually doing this broadcast in Barbados after my family and I came here on a 3-week vacation. And now 7 months in, we're here expanding our territory, doing something new. Something that has not been done before, something that no one connected to us had done before. But had we paid attention to our safe place, we wouldn't be here, and you wouldn't be hearing me, and I wouldn't be the CEO of the Daniel and Esther Network. Do you see what it means when it's time to expand, to innovate, to create, to do something new? I want you to be confident. I want you to be confident in who God has called you to be. I want you to be confident in your gifts. I want you to be confident because there is something unique, different about you, but you got to know it. You have to know what solutions you bring to the marketplace. And then when you find those solutions, then you go ahead and you innovate on those solutions. Know that there are new ways of doing things. And before I close today, I want to take some time to have you go back and think about those things. God has not forgotten the promises that he has made to you. But have you forgotten the promises? Because it's not about God forgetting. It's not about God not showing up. Are you showing up for you? This is our coaching moment. This is our I believe in you moment. This is our motivational moment. But no one can show up for you but you. There is time, talent, and treasure that is on the inside of you that you need to implement and move forward. Again, find out ways that you can give what you have, offer what you have, so that you can create the alliances that's needed to elevate you to the next level. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you rise to the top in your business. I want to see you to new heights. We're at the end of June. I'm challenging you for the next 5 months to innovate, innovate, innovate. I'm challenging you to go to your prayer closet, to blow on that vision, to dust it off, to get reinvigorated, get inspired, get passionate, because I'm telling you that it is time for you to ignite. It's time for you to be a world changer. It is time for you to be global. That's all my time for today. I thank you so much for joining in the Daniel Esther Network, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to our team.